Hey, what is up? Coach Austin here. And in this video, I am going to coach up the deadlift. All right. I hear a lot that people are afraid to deadlift, but yet they're wanting to get stronger, put on muscle, lean out, lose fat, all that good stuff. And they're not deadlifting because they don't feel like they can, or they're capable or confident enough to do that, whether that's their lower back or they're just never taught. Okay, so this video, I want to set you up with a good foundation for your deadlift and give you the cues that I see really help a lot of the clients I work with, and that I use myself to build a really good foundation. And with this foundation, it's gonna build your confidence to lift more weight. And if we're gonna be doing even deadlifting, doing more weight, doing more reps, and that's ultimately what's gonna help you get stronger, right? This is one of those movements, super important if you want to, like I said, put on muscle, get stronger. And this foundation is gonna be great for back squat, which I'll make another video for that too, okay? But yeah, you're gonna need a bar and some plates, ideally some plates that are gonna lift it up off the floor, like the bigger bumper plates or the bigger 45-pound metal plates. And just go ahead and set that up with a weight you feel confident in. Or if you're just following along watching, you could just watch. But what I'm gonna walk us through is kind of starting to get a routine down, and developing a rhythm every time you approach the barbell, right? So that looks different for everyone, whether that's like setting your shoulders, walking up underneath it, a specific way, over time you'll figure out what kind of just rhythm you have that sets you up for a good foundation. But I'll walk you through mine. Okay, for me, it's right foot, left foot, and I highly suggest doing this barefoot, to really lock yourself into the ground. But if you have shoes on, it's gonna be, when you look down, you want the bar to kind of be right over the start of where your laces start on a typical shoe. Okay, so that's usually a good starting point. You could adjust from there. My feet are hip width. So to find hip width, you could put your heel on your other foot, all right, if you can see that, and then rotate around, and that's about hip width. And then you could adjust accordingly. Okay, and that's what we're gonna want. We're not gonna wanna go super wide, and we're not gonna wanna go super narrow for this. It is a pull from the floor. Okay, so again, kind of starting over, I'll probably do this a couple times, is right foot, left foot, making sure my feet are hip width. And really work, I'm locking my feet in, and then I kind of really screw my feet in by kind of trying to spread the ground with the floor with my feet, okay, like that external rotation to really lock everything in, find my core. And then I also like to set my shoulders up. So I'll go palms forward, shoulders up by the ears, push them back, and then push them down, all right? And trying to keep my shoulders in this pinched back position throughout the entire lift. Okay, so we're here, shoulders locked, feet are locked in. I'm gonna now find neutral in my chin. So chin's kind of tucked, ears are stacked over the shoulders, okay, kind of in this nice line. And then we're gonna push the hips back, and we're gonna grab the bar, right, as best we can. Hopefully we could just like drop the arms and they fall kind of straight down, okay? The bar should pretty much be, if it were to come straight up into your armpit, if not like kind of even with your shoulder, all right? And it's gonna depend on your mobility and how you could get here. Okay, so we're here, and then the big thing is, I hear a lot of conversation about grip, right? What grip should I use when I grip the bar? And, right, double pronated, so this one, with maybe even a hook grip, so grabbing the thumbs, is going to be probably the safest. It's gonna save you, it's gonna be more of a grip limiter, and it's also, because what happens is, when we switch grip, we definitely could do more weight, because the grip's not as a factor, because we're pressing and kind of pulling into it, but we tend to stretch out this bicep a lot more and into the lat. So if you're doing this for multiple reps, you could tend to kind of feel the lopsidedness. I found that one time doing a deadlift pull-up workout, right? I was doing all this, and then I jumped up, and I was all out of whack. So if you're switch gripping it, I highly suggest just making sure you switch which hands are switching. And over time, you get used to it. Like I just make sure I switch. It feels the same to me. Okay, so let's start over, all right? So mine is right foot, left foot, hip width, lock the feet in, core, shoulders, All right, core again, check the neck, scan and push the hips back, let the arms fall. We're gonna grip it about thumb width, from the frame of maybe your shins, so the knees are kind of in line with the pits of your elbows. We're gonna keep that chin tucked. We're gonna take a big breath through your tummy for a good brace, and then we're gonna lift. Exhale at the top. Then you can go ahead and inhale again into the belly. And we're gonna push the hips back, and then once the bar reaches your knees is when the hips drop. Okay. So there's our deadlift. So some things there, right? Notice I kept my shoulder blades pinched here, right? If you're doing it right, the next day, your upper back should be sore too because you're really fighting the bar up. It's a full body movement. Okay, so again, here, really pressed up. Lifting, we'll lift the shoulders. And then once we get to the knees, we really just open it up, squeeze tight, standing tall. You don't need to overextend, but just standing tall. Shoulder blades still pinched, re-brace through the stomach, push the hips back, chin stays tucked, bar reaches the knees, and then we drop the hips. Okay, notice too, my chin stayed tucked. So your hips are always gonna follow your eyes. So if I'm looking up, we're gonna start to get more into our clean and snatch setup, okay? Keep the chin tucked and see it raises my hips a little bit. That's good for our back angle, right? The difference between our deadlift setup and our clean setup should be different, right? Our clean, we're trying to get explosiveness to get underneath it. A deadlift, we're just coming up to here. We don't need to get that type of energy into the bar to get the momentum going up, okay? So the hips are gonna be a little bit higher, and we're gonna really work our posterior, which is, like I said, your upper back, if you're pinching the shoulder blades, all down your back, glutes, hammies, down, okay? So let's run through this again real quick, all right? Finding your rhythm, locking it in, getting the shoulders, pushing hips back, finding your grip, breath, lift. All right, that is our deadlift. A couple other things. Bar should be pretty much like the thickness of a credit card between you and the bar. You see the power lifters, strongmen, all them who deadlift, always wear socks. That's safe because it's just not scraping up your shins. But I was always told like a thickness of a credit card where it's scraping you, but not quite. Yeah, and that's I think that's everything. I could talk about this all day, but that is a really good foundation to kind of build into and really get confident in. That bracing, the upper back, and just kind of doing it nice and slow and controlled with good intention with every rep, okay? But yeah, that's the deadlift. You try it out, have fun with it. It's an essential one to gain that strength and muscle.